So for the recording, this is Mariann. She's going to do taxation of playing card manufacturing in Hungary. She's one of the experts on this, and this is 1850 to 1950. So it's an interesting subject, something I certainly don't know much about, but I plan to. So welcome, Mariann. I'm glad you're doing it as our expert, and take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, good evening, good afternoon for everybody. Here in Hungary, it's already dark evening. And first of all, I would like to tell you why exactly playing cards and how did it come into the picture for me. Uh, in our whole family, everybody plays bridge. And if you play bridge, then of course you have playing cards and you love it. And there was a friend who collected the jokers from the playing cards. And I was really curious, why is it interesting and why do you collect exactly jokers? And he answered that for bridge we doesn't need the jokers. So he always took out from the deck the jokers and he collected these jokers separately. And that was the starting point. For me, the starting point for the taxation for these stamps on the playing cards, it was a nice person, Gábor Wisniewski. He gave me the first playing card with the tax stamp on it, and he knew that I collected already the postal stamps and FDCs and other philatelic objects with playing card motif. And he asked me, "Oh, do you collect also this one? There is also a stamp on the playing card, and I have never seen before." And I wanted to know more about them. It was 18 years before. And I would like to show you where I am. So, this is a 100-year story, and I would like to start. Oops, one moment. I would like to start at the beginning. Until 1849, there was no taxation in Hungary. Not only for playing cards, there was no taxation for anything. It was general in the Austrian Empire, the taxation, but not in Hungary. The Hungarian people that they said that they pay the tax in blood, in soldiers and others. But after the revolution in 1848 and 49, the Austrian Empire won against Hungary, and they introduced the taxation also in Hungary. There was no difference anymore. So from 1st of November 1850 until 18th of May 1950, the manufacturers, so not the buyers, but the manufacturers had to pay tax on the decks of cards they produced. After 1950, there was no more playing card taxation in Hungary. It's a little bit, it can be a little bit interesting that Austria has already stopped the taxation before, during the Second World War, after the annexation, I think, when Germany and Austria were merged. During that time, they stopped the Austrian taxation of playing cards. So, what was the beginning? From 1638, so it is 17th century, Ferdinand III, he introduces a tax on playing cards in the Austrian Empire. So it's a long, long time before. But until 1740, we do not know any playing cards with a stamp on it. So it is unknown. This history started earlier. Maybe they have already used this stamp on the playing cards, but we could not find it. And here at the very beginning, I would like to highlight that the greatest expert of this topic is Carsten Mintert. So I mentioned also here on this slide that source is Carsten Mintert because he knows almost everything about the Austrian Empire regarding the playing cards, the calendar stamps, and advertising stamps, or how to tell it. And he's really a big expert. So I used his knowledge to set up this presentation, and I appreciate his work very, very much. Uh, about in 1740, the collectors could find the very first known playing card with taxation stamp. So on the right side, you can see, I think, a bube or something similar. And this playing card was published in the newspaper Talon. This is the newspaper of the playing card collectors. And in 2011, it was published, and this playing card is from the collection of Peter Blas. So it was almost in the middle of the 18th century. From 1803 until 1849, so almost 50 years, every year they introduced a new stamp, so physically a new one. And the graphic was different every year. So it was easy to differentiate. Also, if you got the playing card later at any time, then you could see from the design, the graphic of the stamp, which year was it. These pictures on the left side, these are sample um, prints, and it was mandatory. So it was nice, not nice to have that. Oh, it's nice to make some cancellations. No, it was mandatory, and it was shared with the responsible offices. That this is the official playing card tax stamp. So almost 50 years, every year a new one, and after and we should stay a little bit here. This is the Austrian Empire, the map of the Austrian Empire at that time, first half of 19th century. And you can see with Budapest, number 16 in the mid, this is Hungary. And at that time, there was no taxation in Hungary. In all other western part of the Austrian Empire, they have already used this playing card taxation. And on the right side, you can see the coding of the cities where the taxation was done onto the playing cards. So it was not done everywhere where they had a company to produce playing card. They had a lot of different companies, but they had to deliver the playing cards into an office, and they put the tax stamp onto the playing card, only one card, so not to all of them. Only one playing card had the tax stamp, and after that they delivered back to the company and they could sell it. So on the right side, almost the last one is Vienna, W, and this sign, this W or Zara for Z, or Prague P, Salzburg S. It was shown always in the taxation stamp. So if we go back a little bit, the first row you can see in the stamp, the in bottom part, that W. It means that it is from Vienna. Okay, here is a typical tax stamp machine. We don't know if it was used also for playing cards, but also for other purposes. In the whole Austrian Empire, they used such tax cancellation, tax stamp on the documents and on passports and on a lot of things. And we do not have a confirmation if this machine or this kind of machine was used for playing cards or not, but for sure it was very similar. So on the left side of the picture, you can see this cylinder, and the playing card was put onto the left side to this metal flat plate, and this machine was put the stamp onto the playing card. And yeah, on the right side, I tried to show that it was defined which card should be used for the taxation. For French cards and tarot cards, the Ace of Hearts was used. For the so-called Hungarian cards, the Seven of Bells was used for the taxation. Sometimes it is very, very rare, but sometimes you can find on another playing card. At the very beginning, it can happen because it was not so, these rules were not so well followed. And later, I don't know why, but sometimes Ace of Diamonds can be found as well with taxation. And this picture about the tax stamp machine, it is again from Carsten Mintert. He is researching very, very hard to find out more and more about the playing card taxation and all these things. And this is an old deck, more than 100 years old. On the left, so it it was defined that the package, the packing must contain two holes on it, one for the taxation and one for the company introduction or company sign. And in Hungary and in the Austrian Empire, Piatnik was the biggest producer of the playing cards. So most probably you can find Piatnik playing cards from that time. And this is the very first one from Hungary. Unfortunately, it is not my playing card. I would like to have such a playing card, but it is again from Carsten Mintert. And you can see this very well designed, nice graphic. And on the bottom part of the graphic, you can see this U and I. It means that it was produced in Pest. At that time, we did not have Budapest, not yet, only later. So at that time, it was produced in Pest, often in German. Some maybe interesting numbers from Austrian Empire regarding the um official statistics, how many decks were, and Edwin is not muted. Uh-huh. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. So in Hungary, they produced more than 100,000 playing cards with uh, 10 Kreuzer taxation, and about 63,000 with five Kreuzer taxation. So in total, almost 23,000 gulden or forint. It was a special monetary time because one forint or gulden was equal with 60 Konventionsmünzekreuzer. Later, it was changed to 100 Kreuzer, but at that time, in 1851, one forint was 60 Konventionsmünzenkreuzer. And I tried to find out what could be the value of this more than 22,000 forint. And at that time, 2 3 kilo bread was one forint. So it's a huge amount, in my opinion. And another list about the produced decks with tax stamps. So this is a total number from 1851 until 1866 in Hungary, only in Hungary. And for me, it was interesting that you can see a peak in 1857, more than 700,000 decks. And there was another one in 1862, more than 500,000, and later less and less, a little bit. I have to mention here that these data and the previous sheet is from the book of Klaus Reisinger. I think he was the greatest publisher of the playing card topic, also taxation, but anything else. He has fantastic books about Hungarian playing cards and Austrian playing cards, of course, because he was an Austrian author. And this list of the years and the number of decks, it is from his book. And I was very happy that I could meet the wife of him because Klaus Reisinger has already died a long time before. But in Vienna, I could meet the wife of him and I could speak with her and I could buy the book from the wife of him. It was a very great pleasure for me. I worked more than 4 years in Vienna, so it was easier, a little bit easier to meet her. So, if we are speaking about taxation, then maybe it would make sense to speak about the monetary history a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. So at the very beginning, we had the gulden, or in Hungarian forint, and the change money was kreuzer. At that time, one gulden or forint was equal with 60 kreuzer. And in 1762, Maria Theresia, the queen, she introduced the paper money in Austria, in the empire. And that was the very first step mm, for the what? For the official monetary politic. And if you have paper money, then you start a new era. Because before that, they had only the metal coins, the gold coin. It included gold or silver and so on. But from that time, they had 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100 forint paper money. And the central bank was established in 1816. And during the independence war in 1848 and 49, I don't know if it is well known or not, but Kossuth ordered, and not he created, but he ordered to create an independent Hungarian money with Hungarian text. So that was the very first one in our history. But of course, after the independence war, it was stopped and Austrian paper money was continued. And in 1850, the tax was extended to Hungary, included playing card. This Konventionsmünze, that 1 forint is 60 kreuzer, it was finished in 1857, and from 1858 there was a reformation, monetary reformation, and from that time 1 forint is 100 kreuzer. There was a compromise between Austria and Hungary, the Austrian king and Hungary, in 1867, and the Austro-Hungarian Bank was established in 1878, and that was the central bank of the dual state. From 1892, so we are at the very end of 19th century, the corona was introduced and the change money was fillér. One corona was 100 fillér, and it was valid until 1927. And first, it was an Austrian-Hungarian corona fillér because at the beginning the dual state was very valid. And after the First World War, the Austrian and Hungarian part was splitted, so Hungary became independent state, and from that time we had the Hungarian corona fillér. At the end of this corona fillér period, there was the corona inflation, the last 2-3 years. You can have very nice philatelic objects with corona fillér inflation. And if you would collect playing card taxation, then you could have also playing card corona inflation. Because also in the taxation we had the inflation. I will show some examples for that. And after that, from 1927, the pengő was introduced, and the change money was fillér, so still fillér. They kept the name from corona, and one pengő was 100 fillér. And again, at the end of the period, we had the pengő inflation. We have a discussion with Germany if they had the biggest inflation or Hungary. Of course, we say that Hungarian one is bigger than the German one, but it's not important in my opinion. And at the end of the pengő inflation, from 1st of January 1946 until end of pengő period, end of July, there was adópengő. It was not an official money in Hungary, but it was a conversion base, and they defined the taxation, the prices for governmental services in adópengő. And adópengő was calculated to pengő. Adó means tax. So we could say that tax pengő, but this adópengő was used not only for the taxation, it was used in a lot of cases. But for playing card taxation, it was really important because on the playing cards, the stamp was designed in adópengő. So it was written AP on the stamp. And after that, from 1946, 1st of August, forint was introduced and the change money remained fillér. 1 forint was 100 filler. Until now, we have the forint. Unfortunately, we would like to have euro, but hopefully we will have sometime. And filler, this is again a little bit interesting in Hungary because we do not use filler in practice anymore, long time before. But for monetary purposes, when you calculate the bank balance and such a things, then filler is still in use. So officially we have this change money, but practically we do not use anymore any coins for filler. So that's about the history. And let's go to the taxation. So it was started in 1850, and at the very beginning, they used 5 kreuzer for the not cleanable cards. And the right side, you can see this column text for cleanable cards. That was 10 kreuzer. So it was defined which one is cleanable, which one is not cleanable card. If it was cleanable, then 10 kreuzer. If it was not cleanable, then 5 kreuzer. And in 1857, they introduced a new system. They did not check if it is cleanable or not. It was first time 8 kreuzer, and from 1858 it was 15 kreuzer because there was a monetary change. You can remember the Konventionsmünze was closed, finished, and the new one was 1 forint 100 kreuzer. So they increased the taxation as well. It was valid long time. So if you check the years, then from 1858 until 1882, it was valid. No change in the taxation at all. But in 1882, they introduced a new system. There was a 15 kreuzer for the 36 or less card decks. There was a 30 kreuzer for more than 36 cards, and if it was cleanable, then they doubled the taxation. So if it was 36 cards and cleanable, then 30 kreuzer. If it was 52 card deck and cleanable, then 60 kreuzer. And later they doubled this value, the amount, but in filler already from 1905. This is interesting if we let's go back a very little bit. That here you can see that Corona filler was introduced in 1892. So if we go back, then until 1905, the old value was valid, still valid, the 15 kreuzer, but it was already in filler. They could do it because in the tax stamp, it was not highlighted if it is kreuzer or filler or whatever. So 15, okay, it can be used also for filler. And after that, we can go to Corona period, the Corona inflation period. It has already started in 1920. We can see here a big jump, a big increase in the basic tax from 30 filier to 10 Corona, sorry, Corona. It's a very big change. And after 3 years, 1,000 Corona, and after 4 months, 2,000 Corona, 5,000 Corona, and it is only the base one. And if you check the tax for cleanable cards column, there is nothing because they didn't take care about this topic, if it is cleanable or not. There were only two different tax value, if the cards has narrow borders around, or it has no borders, or wide borders. Why is it important? I asked the experts, why is it important for the taxation? And they explained that if you want to clean the card, it's not only the face, the surface what you have to clean, but also the card has to be cut around because it is not in good shape. And if it has no border or wide border, then it's easy to cut and you can renovate the playing card. And at that time, they had official playing card cleaning companies, and that's why it had higher taxation. And from 1927, from Pengő period, we have the taxation first in Philae, 40 Philae, 80 Philae. They kept the system for the taxation from the Corona period. And after that, one pengő, two pengő, four pengő, and we started the pengő inflation again. And I highlighted here the 20 pengő as a tax value. And you can see that if you have in your hand a playing card with 20 pengő, then you have to know very well the playing card itself. Because if it is not from paper, then your playing card is from this period, from 1941 to 1943. But if the playing card is paper but waterproof, wide borders or without borders, then it is from the next period, from 1943 to 1944, and so on. So if you see 20 pengő on the playing card, then you have to check the playing card itself very carefully. If it is waterproof, if it has narrow borders or wide borders or no borders, etc., etc. So it is a very interesting research to find out. And I highlighted another taxation value, this 3,000 adópengő, because we have never found it, but it is in the official rules, the legal taxation, that 1,000 adópengő, 3,000, 6,000, 12,000, but we have never seen it. But we have seen 2,000. And it seems that they changed this rule somehow, but we could not find the legal background for that. But 2,000 adópengő existed. So I have also in my collection 2,000 adópengő playing card. And from 1946, 1st of August, we started the forint period, and the basic taxation was 3 forint, and 6 forint, 12 forint, 30 forint, and a little bit later, the highest one, not from paper, thicker than 1 millimeter. You can imagine how to play with such a thick card. I cannot imagine. But they had to pay 100 forint as a tax. It's only a tax. And we have never seen. So maybe it was only in the legal rule that was the taxation for that, but nobody has seen such a high value from forint period. And a little bit about the coat of arms. It's only an overview to show up because it has a connection with the design of the playing card stamps. At the very beginning, it was a little bit before the playing card taxation, the Kossuth coat of arms, the coat of arms from 1848-49. But after that, the Austrian Empire came back with the own coat of arms, the eagle with the Austrian color in the middle. And from the dual state period, 1867, we had the so-called small um, Hungarian coat of arms with the Holy Crown. And the Holy Crown was used until 1918 with the angels, in this form the angels, in that form the angels. And at the end of First World War, the Kossuth coat of arms came back, and after that, the Socialist Red Star was the official coat of arms, and the angels came back with the Holy Crown from 1919 with the small coat of arms, small coat, Hungarian coat of arms in the middle. After that, the greater coat of arms in the middle and angels on the right two sides. It was valid from 1938 until 1944. And after that, the Nazis came, and this swastika was in the coat of arms. You can recognize, but the small Hungarian coat of arms remained in the middle. And after that, again, the Kossuth coat of arms, then the mm, communist coat of arms with red star on the top and the Hungarian flag on the bottom. And from 1956 until 1957, again the Kossuth coat of arms. After that, the so-called Kádár coat of arms with the red star on the top. The Hungarian flag is in the middle, and on the right side you can see the Soviet flag on the right side, and on the left side the Hungarian colors. And the last one from 1990, again the small Hungarian coat of arms is the official coat of arms of Hungary with the Holy Crown. It's only to show up until the end. At that time, of course, there was no playing card taxation anymore, but I wanted to give a whole picture. And here an overview regarding the currencies, the taxation, the coat of arms, and the signets or stamps, tax stamps on the playing cards. And if you check the signet column at the beginning until long time, until 1867, the dual state, there is no, okay, not, it's a little bit before. So first two different or three different signets or stamps do not include coat of arms or any signs regarding the country. So if you check the very first one in the middle, 5 kreuzer, the next one 10 kreuzer, the next one only a number under, and there is a lady, but it doesn't belong any queen. And later they introduced this Austrian eagle with ornament, and after that first they started to use the small coat of arms of Hungary. You can see here some. If you can see, I don't know if it is visible or not, on the bottom part there is a numbering. It's not the taxation, it's the number of the tax office. So 55, 49, 40, 32. So these are different tax offices in Hungary. And they introduced the Holy Crown in the middle. Until now, it's a question mark for me and for the other experts how it was possible to print or to stamp with two colors. So we don't know. We have never seen such a machine which can put the cancellation, the stamp in two colors, and you can see that it's a very clear. So you can find the same stamp on the playing card. So it's not only a drawn picture. And I don't know how technically how it was possible. I am really curious. I would like to see such a machine which could make the stamp in two colors. And if we go further, you can see on the right side that the Holy Crown remained. It doesn't matter if there was an angel or not, Kossuth coat of arms or not, what was the coat of arms, the Holy Crown remained in the middle of the playing card text stamp. And unfortunately, you can see here for the last, in the last row, that the 10,000 korona text stamp, it is unknown. Nobody has seen until now. And there are a lot of holes on the next picture. We don't know how it was done. And here you can see the example what I have highlighted in the middle, the 20 pengus. And it's a question mark again. If they kept the previous 20 pengu stamp, the tool itself, or they produced a new one for the next taxation period. And that's again a question if they produced all these value, tax value stamp for the different ones. For example, if you check the last two rows, there are 40 pengő, 80 pengő, 200 pengő, 250, 500. I don't know if they produce the stamp itself or not. Maybe also the playing cards were not produced at all. We don't know because nobody has seen such a playing card with such a high value. Maybe they did not produce such a special playing card, only the basic type. So these questions are not answered yet. We sometimes we think so that everything is already researched and covered and no news. It's not true. There are a lot of questions. And okay, during the Szálasi era, they have used the Holy Crown. Let's go to the next slide. This is again Kossuth coat of arms, and the Holy Crown is still there. And Kossuth coat of arms is still valid, and in the middle, they introduced the reduced mini coat of arms of Hungary without Holy Crown. You can see in the third row. That was 3 forint, 30 forint, 100 forint. 100 forint was such a high value at that time that almost nobody had such a high salary. So I am really curious if any playing cards were produced with this high tax value. And after that, here in the Rákosi coat of arms row, you can see really in the playing card stamp, you can recognize the Rákosi coat of arms. So there is the, in the middle, they replace the reduced Kossuth quota farms with the Rákosi quota farms. And at the very end, when the taxation was stopped, most probably they have used this ellenőrzés control stamp only to show up that the playing card was checked, it is correct, it can be sailed. So there was no tax anymore, but they still use the stamp on the playing cards. I have a nice collection with this control cancellation. And some interesting cards for me, at least. On the left side, you can see a bigger one and a smaller one with nice playing card back. When when I want to collect this playing card with the text stamp, I always have to fight with the playing card collectors because they collect it very heavily and oh, they are very strong. But sometimes they are not so interested in, and sometimes some playing cards are missing from the deck. Then I am lucky and maybe I can buy some of them. And I learned from the playing card collectors that I always have to check the backside of the playing card, and it's sometimes it's wonderful. And if we go from left to right, then there is an ace of diamond, and the playing card text is on this playing card. So ace of the instead of ace of hearts. So this is one example, and it's a very very rare one because it is from a very short period when they used the Kossuth quota farms, the mini quota farms. And in the middle, you can see the Rákosi quota farms. This is the rarest one in Hungary, in my opinion. If you check the period, the taxation period, it's really very rare. And of course, the beginning. So that's another very rare one. But if we check the modern, so-called modern time, then Rákosi quota farms is the rarest one. And on the right side, the above playing card, the tax was paid twice. First, they paid the 60 fielder, but they could not sell it. And the taxation was changed, the fee of the taxation, and they had to pay 10 korona additionally because they could not sell it and there was a new tax. And if they wanted to sell, then they had to pay 10 korona and it is stamped on it. And the last one on the right side, this is again very special and very nice one. This playing card was produced in Austria. So the first tax was played in Austria, in Vienna, because there was a big company, producer company in Vienna, Piatnik, and they paid it there. But they wanted after that to sell it in Hungary. So they had to pay the Hungarian tax as well, 10 korona, but they could not sell it. And after that, it was the corona inflation period. Unfortunately, it is not readable, not recognizable how many thousands of corona stamped on it, but some thousands of corona is the last one from the corona inflation. And this is the last one, and this is the backside of the playing card, which was given to me by Gábor Wisniewski in 2008. And I would like to thank, first of all, to him to give me this wonderful hobby to research and collect the playing card taxation topic in Hungary and a lot of other things I have to thank to Gábor, and thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. There was a couple of questions in chat, but I think you answered them during your
Oh,
presentation, right? So it said, let me find them here. Martin goes, excuse me, it says, why are there two different tax amounts, 5 Kreutzer and 10 Kreutzer? But I think we found out
Yes,
because one was cleaned and one was not. Did we
yeah,
answer
it
your
was
questions?
answered later. Yes.
Ah, hi, Martin.
Mhm. I did have a.
It,
Go ahead.
no, it was answered later. So it was at the beginning, then the rate was explained, and then in the table, I understood. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
I did have a question for you, and then I'll talk about upcoming things. Um, you showed on the early tax stamps, rows of them, 3 by 3 on both sides. And I saw the values 4, 10, and 14 all the time, right? And it looked like 4, 10, and 14 Kreutzer, right? So I
Okay.
cert I knew about 5, I knew about 10, right? 30, 15, but they were just odd numbers, 4, 10, and 14. I think it's like slide 3 or so.
Yes, that's true. 4, 10, and 14, but it was before. So that was valid from 1803 until 1849. So that was before.
So
And
that was
in
before. Did it mean anything?
1818, yeah, that's the value. 4
Yeah, well,
corona,
okay, gotcha.
10 corona, well, Kreutzer, sorry, not corona, Kreutzer, sorry. 4
Yep.
Kreutzer, 10 Kreutzer, 14 Kreutzer. But that was valid before. From 1850, there was a reformation in the taxation.
Okay. What caused Hungary, and I hate to say it, 1950 on May the 19th, what caused them to stop taxing this? This was a great source of revenue.
That's true. I was thinking about this topic as well. It was a very strong centralization in Hungary. So all the companies were in the hand of government. So it did not make sense to get the money from the governmental company, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Well, thank
Because
you
it
very
was
much.
a socialist era, so everything was managed centrally under very strong control, and I think it did not make sense to collect the tax from them.
Well, that makes a lot of sense if it was government affiliated or government run.
Hmm.
I did want to thank you for this. Anyone else got a question for Mariann?
Yes, Andrew?
Well, thank you. I do want to announce that.
Andrew wants to ask something.
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah?
go ahead.
if I may,
There
if I
you go.
may.
Sure can.
Yes, Marion. A very fascinating talk and display of the taxation, which I always find very interesting because tax is such a subject, and how revenue is collected on in all sorts of different ways. But one question I would like to ask is, you show the machine that may well have been used to apply the tax mark to the cards. Would that have been used at the factory, or would it have to been applied at a tax office?
In the tax office.
Ah,
It is for sure true because there were defined offices in Hungary. I cannot remember 6 or 7 or something similar, and only in these tax offices these machines could be used. So also the passports and any other official documents where they needed mm, they used two different kind of tax stamps on the documents. One was the printed one, when they printed in a printing company this tax stamp onto the document. That was valid for lawyers, and I don't know in how many other cases they used. It was printed, and they used this paper. They had to pay for this paper with the tax stamp on it. The collector's name is signet, this tax stamp on the document. It was the printed signet. And there was another one when this signet was done by the machine. For playing cards, only this machine made a signet was used because they didn't print onto the playing card this tax stamp. And all these signets where it was made by a machine, it was done only in the tax offices, not in the producer company.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, the other thing I'd just like to make is I was very interested when you spoke about the Yadu Pengu and the second inflation
Mhm.
period, because that's the area I collect postal
Ah,
history from. So I never thought of looking for a playing card that had been taxed an Ado Pengo, but now I'll start to have a look. But whether I'll find anything in the UK, maybe unlikely. But I'll have a look now. But a very interesting display. Thank you very much.
you are welcome, and everybody is very, very welcome.
And for me, same thing, very interesting. And your information on the slides is going to be invaluable. I mean, I don't know how much time you spent with your friends developing those charts with all the variances on the values and stuff, but it helps immensely. The last thing I'd like to add here is Saba's got a, a presentation next month, March 14th. It'll be 2 o'clock, same time, 2 o'clock East Coast time, US. So same start time as this one. And it's going to be, I'm going to butcher the name, Lajos Kozuth and Philately, right? And so it's going to be another expert presentation for certain, and it's going to be very interesting. And so, folks, without further ado, if I have no more questions, let me stop recording.